Hello, sentient beings on whatever plane you are currently traveling. This is Joshua.
That's Robert.
We are at A&G Central Music. We're going to have a little conversation with you.
Excellent.
Well, really with each other, but you're invited.
You're involved.
You are. Joshua, let's just get this out of the way right from the word go.
Yes.
There's big news this week.
Big news. Big news. You've seen it?
Of course I've seen it. I feel validated. Why don't
Yeah.
you tell the people what happened this week?
Sasquatch has been spotted. So
There's video on the internet, people, and as you all know,
if it's on the internet,
it's 100% true.
it's undeniably true.
We're going to show you some evidence right now, which is going to be a video inside of a video,
That's like double true.
or quadruple.
Check it out.
Sweet. What else is going on this week?
The kids just got done with the marching band festival.
Marching Band Festival is good.
Yeah.
You know, now may be a time to talk about live performance a little bit.
Yeah.
We've got some new students started this year that are going to be coming into their first performance. We had all these students that just had marching band performance, and I always try to caution all performers,
Yeah.
right, to be careful on how they evaluate live performance. I was at a band festival here just this last week, and I saw some students who had just finished a performance who were very, very critical of their performance and really only pointing out like little small errors that they or someone else in their section had made.
Right.
And they were really focused on that.
Yeah. I actually think that's really common amongst students and professional players.
And I think that while there's value in analyzing those performances and certainly looking to your practice habits, performance habits, just ways to eliminate some of those issues, I also think it's not the most productive thing that you can do unless you take it, you take that performance and look at it as a whole instead of focusing in on the one or two little things that maybe didn't go as well as you would want them to go. What about all the things that went really well?
Yeah, certainly there's a lot of big, good moments in every performance. I think in your mind, you'll let like some minor articulation flaw mar like a whole section of music that actually to the audience might have been really pretty good.
Right, and that's the next thing that I want to talk about is the audience. And just a reminder maybe, or another thought if you've never thought of it this way, that your audience is an active participant in that performance, right? And on a lot of levels. I don't know if this has ever happened to you or to any of those folks who are watching now, but I've certainly had it where I've finished a performance that I wasn't particularly proud of, and a person in the audience had come up to me after the show and said what a great time they had and how great it was.
Right.
And I did not react. Outwardly, I'm sure I was fine, but inside, I did not take the compliment for what it was meant to be.
Right.
You know, I need to take that person at their word, and they did enjoy it.
Yeah.
And they were a part of what happened.
Right, and really their experience is probably a more authentic portrayal of what the performance was versus you thinking about just a few minor details, usually.
Right, and that brings up a broader idea of always keeping, you know, your audience should always be kept in mind. I mean, the purpose of us making art, one might argue,
right,
is to share it with the world as a statement of your involvement in the universe.
Agreed.
And you share it with the world to generate some kind of a feeling, sympathy, empathy. The last thing on audiences that we have to consider is if they are a participant and if their evaluations of the performance are valid because they are their experience of the performance, which they were a part of, we need to also recognize that everyone that's in that performance is bringing their own thing to it.
Right.
And as a performer, we often feed off of the energy of our audience. They bring as much to the performance as we do.
Definitely.
And so it's always helpful to keep our audience in mind when we're performing that we're having this shared experience together.
Yeah, I definitely have been part of many performances where you definitely feel that energy, whether it be positive or negative. I think generally to the performer, it's something that helps.
Yes.
More than it hurts.
Maybe the last thing on performance, Joshua, is have you ever been nervous?
Yes.
I'm actually nervous right now.
You're nervous right now?
Outside of my comfort zone.
Me too.
Yeah.
And sometimes I even get nervous before I play or while I play.
There's an actual human, potentially alien, we don't know, on the other side of this camera. And it's weird.
Yeah.
So I'm nervous. But so how do you deal with your nerves pre-performance?
Pre-performance, well, for me, if I get nervous for a performance, it's usually the day of, really. I feel like the main way I get around being really nervous about an upcoming performance is by just practicing and making sure I feel really well prepared for it. If I get myself in that space, I feel pretty good.
Yeah, that's the same thing I try to do, because I do get some anxiety prior to the performance. I just try to remind myself all the work that I put in,
Yeah.
and that I know what I'm doing. And that's kind of my mantra. But I will say this, when a performance starts, I'm never nervous.
Right.
Because I feel like sometimes I'll take some of that energy that I have inside of me, but that all comes out into the music. When I start playing those notes, there's no room for anything else. There's just room for the music and the experience that we're all having.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I've got one more question for you before we go, Josh.
Yeah.
Do you think the Sasquatch can play an instrument? And if so, what instrument do you think?
Well, I think he definitely does.
He?
Or she. Or they. As in terms of what instrument, it's really hard to say. I would probably say he plays a brass instrument, maybe trombone, French horn. That's what I picture the Sasquatch with. What do you think?
I think our audience is going to decide. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, follow us for sure, and in the comments, share what you think the Sasquatch plays, because as we've established.
Yeah, he's real, 100%. Playing the French horn.
See you next time. And I pointed because it's Josh's thing, but there we go.
I'll do it now too. Goodbye. Does this sound good?